Hi, guys. Thanks for joining me. This is a very informal talk, and I'll be just catching up and chatting about Andre Berta and just what that means in the scheme of things with Arsenal right now. We all know the history in the last 20 years about Arsenal's issues, and for years, Arsenal have been a club in search of a place in amongst Europeans elite. You know, we've been trying to find our place there. We've been trying to claim our place, and we have struggled. We have pursued it. I remember when Arsene Wenger was there saying that top four was a trophy for Arsenal, and that was disgraceful, really. But in reality, what they were chasing was more, because their priority was being able to increase the capacity of the stadium, moving to the Emirates and making it viable, because unlike some of the clubs out there, Arsenal were not willing to cut corners and commit financial crimes, which we probably should have done, considering the biggest, there's some of the biggest teams in the world seem to be getting away with doing just that. Regardless, Arsenal went about it the right way. The football was beautiful, of course. Most of the time we're playing beautiful football without any trophies to show for it. But the old football was good. The modern game, though, we were often chasing the pack, let's be honest. We were always just behind. The last 3 seasons, we've been second. We just could not get to where it mattered. Especially last season, I think, was the final realization that if we didn't make the right moves, we're going to be stuck and probably regress, because who wants to take over a club like Arsenal where you should have everything but you just don't win anything anyway? Well, Andre Berta arrived. He was poached from Atletico Madrid. He's known across Europe as one of the sharpest sporting directors in the game. His arrival has signaled to everybody our intent. Everybody knows that this season is the season where everything, all our aspirations, all our tears should culminate in something, and nothing else will do. This guy has come in because he knows this is his next challenge. I think if you're looking for pride, there are certain players that will go to. I mean, look at Mbappe going to Real Madrid. What is he going to achieve there that anyone else who would go there wouldn't? I would go and join that team and we'd win the Champions League and the La Liga in 5 minutes. That you don't get any added pride or any extra rewards, because it's a team that's their identity is winning. So whether I go there or not, or Mbappe goes there or not, they're going to win anyway. You just go and collect a medal and go home for doing what someone else can do easily. So right, with Berta on the pitch, his influence has been immediate. Recruitment became smarter, and we are no longer gambling on old stars, fading stars. We are targeting hungry talent and proven winners, players who can thrive under Mikel Arteta's system and push us back into Champions League spotlight. Last season was a wake-up call for all of us. We saw that we could compete with the elites. We just fell slightly short because our team was depleted by the end against PSG. Even against PSG, we should have won that game, but the kind of personnel we were relying on, especially, sorry to say, he's a lovely guy, but Martinelli was just not it. Very lovely player, but probably not a player Real Madrid or any team that is top drawer is going to be relying on to make a difference. He still can do a job, but I don't think he's somebody who you're going to put there like a Rafinha or a Varane, someone like that who goes in and changes the team. Whatever he has been doing hasn't worked for Arteta anyway, and other players on the pitch, it just wasn't going to work for us to win it all. So now, what sets Berta apart is his ability, his vision, and his business, his muscle in the footballing world. Off the pitch, we can become a big club again. It's not all about branding. I think we've got that brand with Rwanda, got commercial deals going on. I don't really care about that as a football fan. I just want my football club doing stuff on the pitch. So I'm sure, just from the signings he has made, is going to get us being looked at differently, or our brand deals are going to have more value, in my opinion. So he hasn't just brought in big players, though. He has brought in a lot of belief. After seeing some of his moves, I am absolutely believing in Arsenal again. And I know Arsenal will belong with the best, 100%. Last season, I thought we did, but just what he has done, I didn't know how influential it's going to be. But what he has done so far is going to put us up there with the best in the world, the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, the AC Milans, the Manchester Cities, although Manchester City look like they're taking a step back with Pep Guardiola. It's the first time Pep is going to be having to rebuild a squad, I think. And the last 2 seasons, even, he's struggling, isn't he? But, when you think about some of our West signings, remember Francis Jeffers? Oh my goodness, Stepanov, Andre Santos, these are like 1 million, 6 million, 4 million. Oh my goodness. Shamak. I did like Shamak though. He wasn't so bad. Yaya Sanogo. Oh my days. Kim Kallstrom. I think he only played and scored in an FA Cup final, if I'm not wrong. Mustafi. Guys, we're in the pits, weren't we? We're in the pits. Nicolas Pepe, paid £72 million for him. Overpaid for sure. And he just couldn't, the fans just didn't have any patience for him. Willian did bits, but he was already finished. Remember Gallas, horrendous attitude. You could tell he hated Arsenal. He was playing there, but he hated our guts. And it was lovely to see the back of him, one of the worst signings we've ever made. But we had to do something because we were having complete nightmare at that time. And it was a failed experiment. Now, this summer window, these are from Andre Berta's influence. This guy, I think, knows what he's doing. Kepa, I won't say his last name. He used to play for Chelsea. This guy, if I remember right, he's great with shot stopping. So if we end up in a cup final or extra time and we go to penalties, you want him in goal because he's great with penalties. David Raya is not as good with penalties. I think he saved a couple in what tournament were we playing? The Emirates Cup against Club Athletic or something. He saved one, but he's not great with penalties. Kepa can bridge that and is a pretty decent second goalkeeper to have for like the Carabao Cup and some FA Cup games to give Raya a break. Martin Zubimendi comes in. We've been looking at him for years. I think it would have been great if we had been able to keep Thomas Partey, but we weren't able to keep him for obvious reasons. He's now gone off to Villarreal. Christian Norgard, captain material, signed from Brentford. He was the captain. He's a leader. We've got people like Declan Rice in midfield, who's a leader as well, without the armband, but that guy is a leader. We've got Norgard with the same sort of stature and presence as an option in midfield. Noni Madueke came from Chelsea. I really love this signing because our forwards are immature, not in terms of thinking, but in terms of experience. We treat them like babies. We treat them like our kids. Even Saka, despite his talent, and I love that guy, but he's grown so much in the last 2 seasons and he's taking a lot of responsibility. And I think he's fine. But players like Martinelli, who we still treat as a youngster in the team. That should have ended 2 seasons ago. So bringing in somebody like Noni Madueke, who even just his presence, if you watched the game against Leeds, if you saw his presence against Leeds when he switched flanks, when he was on the left, that position Martinelli was in, and you could see just how much responsibility he was taking, some of the moves he was making. Then he switched to the right, which is, I think, his most preferred position. And oh my goodness, his presence was obvious. You even know when it comes to certain games in the Premier League, people like Villa, Newcastle are not going to be able to bully us because we've got a presence in that attacking, that they are going to be thinking twice about leaving for just one defender or whatever. So it gives us a great balance in that midfield. Christian Mosquera, I've not watched a lot of him, to be fair, but I've heard good things. I've seen him play. He came on against Leeds, and he didn't do anything that can make me think that he's rubbish. Victor Gyökeres, oh my goodness, this guy is going to be great for Arsenal. Just the moves he makes, we haven't played with a striker for so long. Midfielders don't even know what to do with him. But once we get midfielders and attackers who know what to use him for, we are going to be in goals heaven. There'll be goals raining. The guy can score, he can head, he can do everything. I think we have hit the jackpot with Victor Gyökeres. He was desperate to sign for Arsenal, and he made that he made the move happen himself. He was like, I'll pay whatever I have to pay. I want to go to Arsenal. And that is because he saw the intent. He saw what Arsenal had done the last 3 seasons, and we're just this close to achieving all our dreams at the moment. And, so he came. It's going to be great. Eberechi Eze. Now, this guy came from Crystal Palace only the other day. A signing I've been saying we need. The same reason I like Madueke for Arsenal is why I like Eze for Arsenal. The maturity. There's something about Arsenal. We don't know what to do with our academy players. They come out without that mentality of a big player. From what I've seen, they're decent, but they're Everton decent. Like they can go and play for Everton or Villa and they'll be fine. Look at Jack Grealish. He goes to Man City and he drowns there. He comes back to Everton and other teams where he was in Villa. He was insane. And that is the kind of player we, Arsenal, are bringing out, except maybe Saka, who's like, he's naturally talented. So I think, they let go of Eze. Look at his stature in football now. How do you let go of Eze? How does that make sense that an academy will let go of a player like this? You can say that maybe he's being let go by Arsenal Academy is what made him into the player he is. But Arsenal should be able to build players to supersede their expectations. They should be able to bring a player up and say, you know what, you're going to be great. Letting him go and saying you're not good enough for Arsenal when he really is. Right. So the Arsenal Academy should be able, like I was saying, to get players like Eze to the position where they come straight from the academy to playing. We let this guy go. He's been playing everywhere else. He's won a trophy for Crystal Palace. He won a trophy for Crystal Palace too, including the Community Shields. He's won that. Then we go there and then we've got all this display. Oh, welcome home, welcome home. Actually, we should be embarrassed about that. But we are not going to be too embarrassed because he is back home and he's going to come and make us great again. Gosh, am I doing a MAGA impression right now? Right. There are more embarrassing things, yeah. But yeah, let Eze come back. Let's see his potential. He's taken on the number 10 jersey. That number 10 jersey reminds me of Ozil. Forget everyone else who's had it in between then. But Ozil, I want miracles from this guy and I'm expecting it. But this is what we need. Players like Martinelli, unfortunately, have not been able to elevate the club to be up there. You know what I mean? They've done okay, and he can still do okay if he stays at the club. He'll still do okay, but he'll never ever, in my opinion, be able to just the responsibility. for me, Martinelli can't think and play at the same time. And he can't, like, you don't even have to do that. There are so many times, especially when he's playing in that number 11 position on the right, what time is this? On the left. He'll take the ball and he'll put his head down and run himself into a black hole, unless there's no one, trying to block him. When he's central, he thinks quicker. But on that wing, he cannot seem to command that wing at all. And that is something that I think Eze and Madueke do better than him. So I'm not saying he's not completely horrible. I would prefer him to stay and be considered to sort of, that position that we're expecting Havertz to be playing just behind the striker. He can do that in certain games. And I think he'll be great if we are going to keep him. But on that left, I think he'll really struggle. He's just not natural. His natural ability is just not for him to play there. I think you need a lot more maturity. You need to take responsibility. You need to think faster, think and play at the same time. And that is not the best, of his abilities. I don't think he can do that. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, we've got some new signings. So sorry, I went on an Arsenal rant there a little bit, didn't I? Sorry about that. But yeah, I was talking about Andre Beta's influence on Arsenal. We are now standing tall. I think people know that we are here and we are going to be a team to be reckoned with this season and for the next 4-5 seasons. We've got the money. We can borrow money. We don't have to sell our female team to create fake transactions. And like Sam and thanks to Andre Beta, the Gunners are back in the big boys club. 100%. We are back in the big boys club and everyone needs to beware because we are coming for everything. We are coming for everything. The Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup. What other tournaments can we come back for? Carabao Cup, we'll see. We'll see if we want that. But it won't hurt. We're not going to do the treble, I don't think, but I think we're going to focus on the Champions League and the Premier League. Let me know what you think about Andre Beto and what he brings to Arsenal. And yeah, see, am I right? Am I dreaming? Am I being too overexcited? The main thing to take from it is that Arsenal are back. Thank you so much for joining me on my little sofa chat. I'm sat on the sofa today. I'm just thinking so much about football and everything and Arsenal after seeing that Manchester United foolishness against Grimsby. And yeah, I'm very excited about what we are going to be doing. Do not forget to subscribe to my channels. My TikTok is coming up and about and is doing really, really well. So go and follow me on TikTok. Find me on my Facebook for some stories. And then I'll be doing a bit more boxing content about Crawford versus Canelo in the coming week. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.